had a turkey burger today for lunch. That shit was disgusting.
Ooh.
My coworker was like, "Yeah, no, I have turkey burgers all the time. They're pretty good. You know, this place doesn't know how to make a fucking turkey burger. Turkey burger and turkey bacon. Got double whammy of garbage."
Interesting. What a good way to start. Here we are. I had to do it. I'm sorry.
What?
Had to switch us over.
Yeah. Well, with that, since we're talking now, unfortunately, there's no movie update. It was a 4th of July weekend. I was quite busy. Too much working.
I was hoping to watch some good U.S. soccer, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, you want to talk about? Let's talk about a depressing movie. U.S. men's national soccer team.
The only redeeming quality, Malik Tillman.
Yes. Put that man on a set piece. Who needs anyone else? He's just gonna slot at top ends.
Kid had himself a tournament. He's 21. We'll see him next time.
Yeah. You know who we won't see next time?
Pulisic.
Tim. Good old Tim Reed. Get him out. Get him out. How do you say his last name?
Ream.
Could not. I could score on him.
He got reamed.
Get him out. He got reamed. Yeah, basically.
Now, Ream is the defender.
Yes, exactly.
Reeves is the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper.
No, I'm talking about the defender.
They both need to be gone. There's no way that Matt Freese was the best goalie we could have fielded.
I will say, Matt Freese had some really good saves. And then he had some really
to
bad
start the game,
moments.
He had an insane save.
Yeah, there was like that beautiful save to start the game.
And then he gave up a goal.
Maybe we have a chance. Yeah, and then he missed the ball. Did you guys see Sheep Esports post on Twitter about it?
Dallas Cowboys one?
No,
that was a different one.
The biggest whiff we've seen in America, and then it since ... and it showed a picture of Atomics.
HAG. Oh.
No, it's Atomics.
Yeah, it was Atomics, yeah. It was the biggest North American whiff since ... and it's Atomics missing the corner.
I feel like HAG's was a bigger miss than Atomics.
That's not North American.
Atomic hit the ball.
No, he didn't.
Supposedly.
If he hit the ball would have moved.
It was a phantom. I don't know what to tell you.
That's right up there with like some of the soccer goals we see nowadays, where it's like, oh, it touched his hair.
He was offsides.
It's like it didn't move.
What a time
like
to be alive.
They have the tech now to like show when like the ball gets like hit by something, and, like there's a little like spike in activity. It's like, what? What are we doing?
What a time!
Tweet that said the false optimism of U.S. It was pretty much comparing the false optimism we had. It said this is what it's like to be a Cowboys fan going to watch a Cowboys versus Packers playoff game. And just hit on a different level.
I mean,
they made the playoffs.
I was like, you could just sum it up to. I feel like you just sum it up to being a Cowboys fan in general this last like decade.
No, I mean, hey, I don't have it much.
Years,
I don't have it much better. Our number 2 corner is going to prison for life, probably.
Well, you know, welcome to the club of having players in your team commit crimes.
The Lions instantly released him, and apparently he's already met with 3 teams since he's been released. Well, okay, so
the Lions are already doing better. You know, if it was my team, the Chiefs would have sent him to rehab, let him go through the prison system, bring him back, and then if he does it again, then maybe we can get rid of him.
And all your players would have wore a shirt that said "Free him," as if he didn't commit heinous crimes against
humanity. All I'm saying is the Chiefs are committing to the all prison team. They're committing hard.
Hey, nah,
they're the Georgia of the NFL.
Yeah, I was like, you know, prison team goes hard is the freaking Georgia. The Georgia prison team would go crazy. The all Georgia prison team.
What a tangent! What a tangent we've got.
That's our magnum opus. Anyway, here we are. Welcome back to the Boost Overball podcast, which surprisingly is about Rocket League and not about other sports. But to listeners new and old, hello and welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Kyle, K-Cube in the top left. In the top right this time we have Red, and in the bottom we have Quilly. How's it going, gentlemen?
It's going good. Obviously not for the country of America, soccer, but otherwise, for us, we're doing great.
Yeah, there's even more crazy sports stuff going on, but we won't go down that rabbit hole. Otherwise, I fear we will never return. And we're making fun of the University of Georgia, the all prison team.
The all prison team of the University of Georgia.
But on today's episode, I at first thought we didn't have a lot to talk about, but we certainly do. World's LCQ is now underway. We know the top 16 teams that will be duking it out for the World's LCQ spots for EU, SAM, and MENA. And in NA, we know the top 32 teams who will pair down to the top 16 this weekend. And then from there, we have some teams that have signed up for the EWC LCQ, which is in person, I believe. And those teams' rosters that have been locked in for that. And then if there's time, we'll get into our thoughts on Rocket League Season 23, and then we'll wrap up with a Quilli question. So without further ado, are we ready to talk some more RLCS 3v3 ball this time?
Let's do it.
Okay. Starting us off in EU, coming out of Group A in our double Swiss, we have KDOP Corp and Novo going 3-0. We have Matey Tapa 123-1 and Team BSK going 3-1, and then we have Valair, PCS Stride, and No Balls Just Chase going 3-2. And from Group B, we have X and Magnolia going 3-0, Triple Pop, GK, and TT Tinos going 3-1, Chippy Chips, Emperor X, Esports, and the Bricks going 3-2 to round out our top 16. So if you are wondering, some of these teams are very different. KDOP Corp, Joyo, Raziers, Radosin. X is Dead, Joinks, Chenille, Novo, Juke, Resi, Nico, Magnolia's Rise, Toxic Fusion, Matey Itapa's AJG, Dorito, Atomic, Triple Pop, Osaft, Motion, and Bibaba, and then plenty more that I'm sure we'll talk about as this goes on, and you'll hear some of those rosters because a lot of these teams have already signed up for the EWC LCQ. But any surprises jump out at you guys about teams that either did or did not make our top 16 for LCQ?
Not really. I mean, pretty much the teams we expected to make it in made it in, and obviously those kind of like bubble teams that were like, a toss up could make it in there. Realistically, no too big surprises except for one team I think is a little surprising. Most likely it could just chalk this up to chemistry issues, I think. But KDOP Core official, the roster of KDOP, Chaussette, and Moxie, not only not making it into the top 16 for LCQ, but not even getting a series win.
They only got one game win.
You got one game win. You get swept by Valare, you get swept by Sneer Esport, and you get swept or almost swept by Anisorail, which for those three types of players, I feel like, it'd be a little better, but then again, it's Moxie on there, so it's been coming into question that Moxie's 3v3 ability is not the greatest, which is why he's a one's main. But you would have thought they would have done a little better. I mean, just even a little.
Yeah.
But otherwise, pretty straightforward.
The one team I'd say that was a little bit surprising missing, I think, would be GHT.
I was gonna say that
They
too.
were, yeah, they're usually a team we see in regular top 16s, top 32s, like going against like the top dogs. So to see them missing in LCQ kind of stinks because Grandma, obviously, as we know, took the world by storm as of late. I said Grandma.
I know. My grandma.
I'm making sure I said it right. Cuxer as the coach. Is that the actual Cuxer?
Yeah, it's the all-Italian team. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the all-Italian squad. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that's usually one of the teams that's seen in the that's making it through in the main events and whatnot. So to see them missing out in the LCQ this early, that would probably be the one team that I'd say is surprising to not make it through.
I would agree, especially because in round 5 they lost 3-1 to No Balls Just Chase, which phenomenal name. But this team is Prosy, a Swiss player, Coco, a Spanish player, and Shark, who is an Irish player. So kind of three names that we may not have heard before, but that's what you get when when we've removed the top 5 EU teams from the mix here. There's 5 more spots up for grabs.
Yeah, they go from going to 5 with Novo to getting literally swept by a team that's 1-2-3-1 who doesn't even have a page on Wikipedia of their players. What a roller coaster.
Yeah, they also got swept by Velocity, Neon, and Prism. I mean, hell, Astral's making top 16s here with Speed. Astral, Speed, and Pluvo.
Dynamic trio.
Oh, yeah. There are some good names in teams that did not make the top 16. One being Goofy Team. Behind both Bruv. No Seiko, just Fake. Except they're all spelled super weird. So a lot to unpack here for EU, but I kind of just think at the end of the day, like, it's not really gonna be like a lot of these teams that we're talking about, like kind of on the periphery, like GHT, No Balls Just Chase, maybe like BSK or Valair. Like, I don't really see them competing for this spot. Like, in my opinion, at least, I think you see GK in the mix, Magnolia, which is Rise's team. I think you probably look at KDOP Corp and Novo, and then I think after that, I think we're starting to get away from the teams that are potentially, I think, capable of taking an LCQ spot. But if you had to pick a team to come out of EU right now, who are you picking to be your EU LCQ representative?
Give me KDOT Core. I think that team on paper is the best out of everyone here. Individually, easily, in my opinion. Braziers has been on quite the training arc, if you will, with especially on the content side of things. I mean, he's been streaming a ton more lately. And just even after getting dropped from his previous roster, has continued to grind the game. Joyo, I mean, it's Joyo. LCQ Joyo, I feel like is very dangerous here. And then of course, Radosin at the back, long-standing name of the EU Rocket League scene. How else could you?
This is his event.
Yeah,
this is the Radosin time.
This is Radosin's time to bring back the absolute last chance qualifier run of dreams that he likes to do all the time. Apparently,
Yeah, if he goes 2 for 2 on LCQs, that's going to be absolutely nuts.
I mean, I at this point, are we back to job security Radosin?
Well, there's no job to secure though.
Yeah, there's no job to secure.
For next season, there is though.
I mean,
that's not job security. That's job hunting.
This is like this is
this count as networking.
Networking. I mean,
job networking. Like, Radosin.
Like, we're talking like World Cup. Like, it's these guys from these not very well known international teams. They're gonna go try and put out a hat trick so they can get some English
big money moves
to pay them a couple mil to come play for them. Like, it's essentially what we're looking at here. It's Radosin's time to shine, to get that nice shiny contract again.
Fair. Quilly, Red's got KDOP Corp.
I do want to go with the same one, but that seems kind of lame. So I'm going to pick my favorite remaining player in Rise and go with Magnolia.
Okay. I was also going to pick KDOP Corp, but then again, to be different, now I'm going to say GK.
I think the consensus pick is KDOP Corp, but the more fun ones are amongst the board.
No one went with Novo, especially after their most recent open run. I mean, do we think that it was just a one-time fluke, or
they were also second place in the last LCQ?
I just feel like when the lights get bright, you turn to people who have experience and who know how to play, like a Joyo or a Radosin or a Rise in Magnolia, or I almost said AJG, but I can't say AJG still. I'm sorry, dude, but I can't do it. And then, so for me, you're looking at players who've been there, done that, maybe a Tox, but I don't think that Valair roster is good enough. You'd say maybe like a Speed or an Astro with the bricks, but again, I don't think that roster is good enough. So that leaves me with GK, because they brought in Alpha, they brought in Mitzer to play alongside Tempo, who I'm a big fan of Tempo. So I think that Alpha certainly is capable of doing Alpha things. He's a world champion. So that's why I'm picking them. Though I will say my number one pick would have been KDOP Corp. So
Also, I had this revelation that there is a good chance that we are watching 6 EU teams compete at Worlds
I don't want
because
to
they're
talk
going to
about
have
that. Why did
their
you mention
5
that?
spots and now an LCQ. There is going to be possibly 6 EU teams performing at Worlds.
Why would you say that?
We're being absolutely hosed right now. This is unfair. This is bullshit.
Well, on that super depressing note, Sam. Um, Sam is another region who is secured their LCQ spot, and our top 16 teams are as follows. From Group A, we have Fofuchos, BS Plus Competition, Twitter, Nova Drift, OS, Garampieros, 25 Shot Club, and Sangres. And from Group B, we have Disaster Class, Big Odes, Notorious, Pitbulls, Plot Twist, Butler Mentality, Trust the Process, and the Eurobus. So Fofuchinos, Ovitin, Davisano, and Misery, Big Odes, Knight, Drafino, Bems, BS Plus Competition, KV1, CRN, Wisty, Twitter, Card, Delivery, and Snips. Plot Twist, Royals, Mata, Sosa, the region transfer from Canada in Plot Twist, who made it through in Group B. I'm trying to look at for other teams that have names that people would be able to pick out. Unbroken, Klaus, and Pan from Notorious, and then Brad, Drops, and Leo, and Disaster Class. So, what are your kind of overarching thoughts here? And like, I think realistically, Sam is much less deep of a region as EU or NA or even MENA that we've seen this year. So who do you think realistically has a shot here, and who is your pick to come out of Sam?
I feel like an easy one to say here would be BS Plus Competition. I mean, they've competed very closely with the likes of Furia and Team Secret, and or not sorry, Team Secret. Why am I blanking on the other South American team?
Big Odes
Furia, help
was
me. I said so it was Team Secret, but it's now
and then Banana,
Big O's,
and then I
right.
think that they've
But
separated.
BS Plus Competition, that's a name we've heard before. It's a team we've seen compete at that level and have been just this close to really giving the top dogs a run for their money. So, in all honesty, it would be surprising to not see them come out on top here for the LCQ. They have the most, I think, momentum going into this to continue on and be the next South American representative.
Yeah, I think LCQ's just in a whirlwind. It's really just the big names, which is pretty much BS Competition and whatever ragtag teams are out there. Obviously, we got Brad and Drops on Disaster Class who have a good chance. Big Odes with Trufino have a good chance. I think at the end of the day, it comes down to this BS Competition's competition to lose.
I would tend to agree. I'd be interested to watch how a team like Plot Twist does with some familiar faces there, Royals and Mata. Big Odes to see kind of how Drafino is going. Kind of his fall from grace. I feel like almost should be studied at this point. But someone mentioned that we last episode we mixed up KV1 and Drafino, so for that I apologize. But he has gone from crew, and then he made the step up to Furia, and then he left Furia in October of 2025, moved to Team Secret, left that in April because Secret dropped the roster to Bananas, and then he left Bananas in June and moved to Big Odes. So kind of a big fall from grace there from Drafino. So I would say probably Big Odes or BS Plus Competition is who I have as well. But I think that BS Plus Competition is probably your leader coming out of the gates in my personal opinion. Now,
assessment.
into what I think will be a extremely interesting LCQ, and that is for MENA. So our teams coming out into the top 16 from Group A are R8 Esports, DOS, Clean, HWS, Road to Texas, No Mercy, Sarin, and Gravesite Plain. Gravesite Plain, yeah, okay. And then Team Stallions, and from Group B, Team Stallions, NMT, Robert De Niro, Capro Suchus, Black Council, Allegra Boo, and then, my God, they just spammed their keyboard. It's like 30 characters in random order, starting with SKZOC, and then ... Rounding out
We'll
our
just call
top
them
eight.
SK. We'll just
Yep.
call them SK.
That is phenomenal.
SK for short.
So teams that you might know are Esports. They were in Paris, Stallions, Twiz, Trook, and Nush. DOS, which is Suspect, Dr. Known, and Ops. NMT, Mason, Nader, T7LM. And then there's obviously some more names that I'm sure that people have heard of. But I kind of, at least for me, I feel like it's a 2-horse race between R8, or maybe 3-horse race between DOS, Stallions, and R8 Esports. But I tend to give the edge to R8. They've been there, done that. They've beaten a lot of the MENA teams before, and they were very close to making it out of groups in Paris. But Quilli, what are your thoughts on MENA and this LCQ?
I mean, as much as we want to see RA and Stallions, they've been the big dogs. But obviously Das has Dr. Known, who was, I'm pretty sure, as we know, TRK's cousin. Do genetics seem to be running rampant in Amina that, like, if you're related to one of the top dogs, you're also good? I guess so, because we got twins on one team, we got the cousin of TRK in this. Yeah, I think an NMT isn't M7SN. Is that Muhammad?
Yes.
Is that how I believe that's how it's pronounced, if I use my brain correctly. Yeah, so this is one of those regions that has a lot more interest. I feel like all these teams are much more on a level playing field than I believe the EU and definitely the SAM regions were. So I think it's more of anyone's game. The real question is are any of them good? M7MD, he's Muhammad.
Yes.
All right, I mix it up the M7s. But they I think, are they going to make an impact when they make it to Worlds? Because as we saw, R8 had all the hype and they got smoked out relatively easily in groups. What didn't even seem like much of a challenge for who they were going against. I think they put up like a little bit of a fight at the end and just went out sad, to put it nicely. But they are one of the younger teams, so with learning, with the experience comes learning. Because as we saw, the SSG kids, they're that reveal Kofor at the time Scribbles team. They looked horrid in at Raleigh. They looked horrid, and then they looked a little bit better at EWC, and then they looked real good at Worlds. So it could be all about the experience. If R8 makes it there, I'm expecting at least a minor step up at the least. But I think Stallions have a good chance at taking it, and they also have a good chance at possibly a little bit of motion in the LCQ bracket, because obviously the LCQ bracket at Worlds, you are going against the bottom 4 teams and other LCQ teams, so won't be immediately getting dominated. You'll at least have a punching chance or fighter's chance.
I would agree.
Yeah, kind of the same boat here. Like it realistically should be a 2-horse race between R8 Stallions, in my opinion. But as we've seen, Mina's been very weird as of late. Is R8 able to bounce back from a arguably poor performance at Paris? What kind of changes have they been making in the downtime since Paris? It's been quite a long time from Paris to now. So, for all we know, by the time we see these teams, they could be playing completely different. Which I think makes this LCQ so incredibly interesting. Just to see what kind of teams, what adjustments they made. Maybe they have different game plans for specific teams, especially in MENA, when you're going to be expected to play against those other kind of top play teams anymore. Not Falcons or Twisted Minds, But what game plan does RA have for Stallions? What game plan do they have for Dose? Stuff like that. I think we're going to see a lot of very specialized games for these LCQ matches, which was going to make this even more interesting. But I would be lying if I didn't say I'm backing R8 to make it out of this LCQ.
Fair enough. I've also been told by our MENA guy that Clean, Willie, Rez, and FBI is another team that you might be on the lookout for. But again, like both of you, I would have to say that R8 is my pick to come out of this MENA LCQ. Just like we saw them do so well in MENA as a whole to get the Paris Major spot. They upset some teams and they took some really competitive series to Falcons and to Twisted Minds, but we'll have to see how they can perform. What?
Give me Stallions.
Yep. Oh.
Give me
Okay.
Stallions.
Okay. But it will be
Something
interesting
bad
nonetheless.
much.
So, the way that it will work, and it has not been announced yet what teams will be playing in it, but I have a venture to guess. So the play-ins is an 8-team double elim style bracket group stage. The top 4 teams will advance into the regular group stage. So all 4 of our LCQ region spots, NA, EU, SAM, and MENA, will take a place in the play-in bracket, and they will play against a team that has already qualified for their spot. So if I had to guess, that's probably APAC, OCE, SSA, and then the bottom placing team, which I believe to be NA4. But I'm not sure about that. So as of right now, that would be 5 Fears, TSM, 1 of Power or Wild Card, depending on the OCE tiebreaker match, and then Virtus Pro. Potentially Sam too as well. I don't know. It could be Furia. I'm unsure. I think it depends on average LAN finish this season. So we'll have to wait and see when they fully are able to populate the play-in bracket.
I was gonna say, like, I'm not. How do they even worry about picking? Like, how about? Do we want to pick like who we think our 4 would be?
Like who do you think the 4 teams are coming out?
Yeah.
Well, we don't know which teams are going to have to play in it.
Yeah, that's just our guess.
Okay, so
it's just looking at this long list who we think.
Okay, well, I mean, I feel like the EU 6 is a lock. So
yeah,
we all kind of defaulted to KDOP Corp. So I would say KDOP Corp is one of them.
It's fair. Assuming who do we assume is winning NA though? That's a real question. Do we?
Foot.
Because obviously
Foot.
NA.
It'd be Foot.
Shout out, represent.
And we'll talk about the NA in depth here in a minute once we've gone through this segment that we've put in here. But I think Foot has a good shout. I think that there may. I don't want to say Gen G. I just don't think. I just don't think that they have a realistic shot. Maybe Dig. I don't know.
Are you putting Dig over
No.
Gen G though?
No, I'm not.
That's why I was like, realistically it is Foot or bust, because anyone else below Foot I think is going to be fodder at the World Championship.
I can see M80 performing well in NA LCQ.
Yes, but I still think that if they were the team to qualify, they are getting curb stomped.
I agree.
I really think it's between Gen G and Foot.
Yeah.
I whatever Dignitas is smoking, I want to know, because whoever thought it was a good idea to pick up Abjack and keep 5 up on the team deserves to be fired. To put it kindly, that is a choice of all time.
They're trying to have their Foot moment. And if they do, props to them. But
Foot's up their own ass.
Foot's already outdoing them, and they didn't even make a move. But so I mean, if it's Foot, I'm gonna say Foot make it out. I think that they're they went toe to toe with Carmine. They had a lot of close series in Paris. So I will say that they have 2 of the easier paths through to through to the top 4 here, probably both through the upper bracket, and then that leaves, you know, a MENA team probably R8. I could maybe see a world where Power can do something.
So as of right now, you're expecting NA4 to get knocked out, OCE 1. Oh, nope, OCE would be Power. Sam 1 and or Sam 2? Sam 2 and
So I don't know if it's going to be OCE 2 or Sam 2 or NA4. I don't know.
yeah, it's kind of a hard prediction to make without this. All right, that's on me. I thought
Gosh, Quilli.
So cuz you could have 5 NA teams, you could have 4 NA teams, you could have 5 or 6 EU teams, you could have you could have 3 SAM teams, you could have 3 MENA teams. It just kind of depends on who has to play in the play-ins and who doesn't. But that will be made aware or like made known to us sooner rather than later, I would have to imagine.
hopefully.
But moving into NA, and like I mentioned, we don't know our top 16 yet, but we know our top 32. So quickly, in Group A for Swiss, we have Foot, Dignitas, Next to New, Team Silenced, Gentleman, GGS, Kamikaze, Skill Issue, West Coast Warriors, Affinity, Little Step Bros, Von Esports, Signature Plays from Jerbear, Miguel Shahur, GSK, and Wrath. And in Group B, we have Genji Mobile One Racing, M80, XJM, Bums United, ABC, ET, NXT Esports, Lenacity, Respect Your Elders, Sigma Wolfgang, Fortnite Flick, Spacebound Cowboys, Chewy, Hey, Pickup Run, and Vanta. So some interesting names that we have here. And ABC is AJ Bosco and Jamaican Coconut. GGS, we've talked about it. It's Garrett G, Squishy Muffins, and Gimmick making his return. Respect Your Elders is Oath, Adam, and Knight. Fortnite Flick, Gyro, Flitz, Andy. Lil Step Bros, T. Carell, Alpha Cap, Guh. And then we go on and on from there. But realistically, as we kind of mentioned, I think that your top teams in terms of or notable teams in terms of NALCQ would be Foot, Justin Chronic Cheese, Genji Mobile One, Magic Bear Evo Frosty, Dignitas, Appjack Bora 5-Up, M80, Panda Life Mech, Next to New, which is Eris Aqua Devo, and then in my maybe Team Silence, which is Reasonable, Lev, and Pigeon. That's a team that we've seen make a top 16 for NA RLCS this season. But you know, I don't really see any teams outside of that group making a move, and I think that the group in that could compete at Worlds is even smaller. So, Red, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, it pretty much took all the words right out of my mouth. There isn't really too much to add on there. It is, especially with these group stages and with a lot of these teams, it's like, you just gotta kind of wait and see, because there's a lot of teams here where it's like, no idea who these guys are. They could just come out one day and just decide they're gonna win the whole thing, and the team that we think is gonna win it is gonna play terrible. But I mean, we all have, I think, at least looking at these team names here, I could pick out at least 7 teams I expect to make it. Like I would, guarantee that they're most likely making it through the Swiss stage, barring the most inhumane Swiss stage matches ever.
Yeah, I would tend to agree there. Quilly, what are your thoughts?
If Little Step Bros makes it, do you think an org picks him up?
No, I don't think so.
Absolutely not.
I don't think so. But maybe.
Kind of what my brain's been rattling off right now. It's like, is Alpha Cab worth the brand risk?
No.
I mean, he does have probably the most motion in all. Is it good motion? That is up for debate.
It is
but
motion.
It is, in quantity wise, the most motion.
That's a good question. I mean, does he have motion? Yeah. Is it definitely one of the audiences ever? It certainly is. I I don't know. I just feel like he's not PR safe. That's really what it comes to. Like, has he been media trained? I'm sure he has because he was a pro Rocket League player at one point. But like, I just feel like there's better options out there for teams looking to get picked up. Like potentially teams maybe that could compete in EWC as well.
You know what? Little Step Bros makes it, and we get Poab coming back. Poab picks up Little Step Bros. We get Pirates on a Boat back on the scene.
I would love to see Poab back.
That's my Quilli might be doing crack prediction.
Hey, I'm not. I think that there are crazier. I think that there are crazier things that we've. I think there's crazier things that have happened.
Beast Mode's still retiring at the end of the season. That prediction's still
He's-
holding true.
I don't think he is. That's it. I don't think he is. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about any of the NA, MENA, SAM, or EU LCQ spots before we talk about some notable teams that have already signed up for the Esports World Cup Last Chance qualifier?
Viva
Over here.
I don't even know who to root for.
Foot. Viva la foot.
Viva la Foot. Justin on Worlds.
Fair enough. Well, it's not exactly roster rumors, but Red, do you wanna take us away with these teams, or you want me to do it? There's quite a few.
Well, we'll run through these. I got this.
Okay.
All right.
We'll rip them. We'll rip them.
All right. We're just gonna go through. Feel free to listen to some notable teams or not. Up to you. But there's a lot. Okay. Obviously roster Foot, Cheese, Chronic, Justin, duh. Genji, Evo, Frosty, Magic Bear, duh. Dignitas, Outjack, Bora, and 5-Up. Careful, 5-Up. This man Quilli don't like you.
Wow.
And then we got some names that you aren't gonna recognize right away. Triple Pop with Bibaba, Motion, and Osaf. Next to New, which is Eris, Aqua, and Devo. Not Devo you think it is. DVO. Make sure you're paying attention.
Dude, rebrand.
Of course,
Come
and
on.
of course, yeah, I mean, honestly. And then we have Dose, which is Dr. Known, Ops, and Suspect from Mina, along with Stallions, with Nush, Truk, and Twiz, and then some EU as well. Magnolia, Rice, Toxic Eugen will be running it for EWC, along with GK and Tempo, Mitzer, and Alpha. K-Up Core with Joy, Overdose, and Raziers. And then down to Sam, we got BS Plus Competition, running it with the same roster. Same thing with Man City with Acro, EdgeB, and Seiko. And then Lokenuinely, yeah, I think that's how you say that.
I think it's low key,
It's-
but with genuinely in it.
Yeah, it's a Lokenuinely. I don't know. we're trying out here. We're trying. But Devo, yes, that Devo, the actual Devo, not the fake Devo. Roniki, now you haven't heard Hot Minute probably, and Star. Then of course you got the all-Italian roster GHT, TMS, Hyder, and Grandma. PCS Stride with Atomic, Dorito, and AJG. That is a roster of names from like a couple of years ago. Virtus Pro, obviously, with Two-Piece, Talk, and Wavy. Volare with Crispy, Growly, and Tox. Sick with an exclamation mark, which is J-Waits, Wozian, and Jup. These are some crazy names. I love it. Then, of course, you got Nova with Gyuk, Rezi, Nico. Chippy Chips with Tho, Chippy, and Red Mob. And Triple T with Anoric, Skyrix, Mako. And then finally, the last notable team that we picked out, the Bricks with Speed, Astral, and Pluvo. Whew. I felt like a tongue twister saying some of those names.
You did better than I would have, so I appreciate you going through. But definitely seeing Roniki in the year of the big 2-6, that's not something I had in my bingo card. But I'm excited to see what he can do and excited to see what they can do. Same with Devo, but I believe these teams have to make the trip to Europe to compete in this LCQ, like on their own. I'm sure some of the orgs will pay for it, but nevertheless, to get their spot. But a lot of the teams we've already talked about because they're competing in LCQ for their own region. But awesome to see this many notable teams already signed up for Esports World Cup. Because that's not for another month, so there's still plenty of time for these teams to sign up for it, or for them to be picked up by orgs or what have you. So great to see and good for the scene, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be fantastic to see on the competitive side of things, and it should be some good entertainment at the very least.
We're getting 2 LCQs.
Yeah,
Are all these teams eligible? What's the deal with this? Are all these teams eligible? They're all just putting their bids in to be selected.
they will have to play a tournament, an in-person
So-
tournament or an online tournament in EU to get the LCQ Worlds, LCQ EWC spot. Sorry.
All right, so now this one we can make predictions. Who we think are going to be the top dogs here? If we had to predict, how about we predict the top 4 here? I think top 4, the 4 that make it out of this.
KDOP Corp, Foot. Um,
It's so up. It's so just like the luck of the draw. There's so many teams for this.
I'm gonna say Novo
Anyone-
for this one, and then I'm
Same
gonna
with
go
VP fans.
Stallions.
No VP. VP bows out.
Dude, I genuinely like there. You could pick and choose 4 different teams from this like 8 different times, and you could be right just purely because they might get a better bracket matchup.
Yeah,
This
and
is assuming the bracket's perfect though. Who we
yeah, and also it's 128 teams for this LCQ. First come, first serve. Once they're gone, they're gone, and it's only
Jesus.
one team. Winner gets the spot. Everyone else, sorry, got nothing for you. Go home. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
give me? Magnolia, KDOT, Das, and Genji. The
All
most
right.
random 4.
Wait, why Gen G?
Because I said so. No logic, purely just dog in them. I think Genji's honestly just gonna somehow. It's going purely off them getting the luckiest bracket. That's kind of like my thinking is one of them has to get an ungodly lucky bracket. It's gonna be Genji.
Okay.
Also, I wanted at least one NA team to make it.
I mean, that's fair. I think that's fair.
It was either them or Foot. And I already have Foot winning the actual LCQ, so I'll give Genji top 4 in the EWC LCQ.
Okay. Okay. Anything else that you guys want to mention about the EWC LCQ before we move forward, or we good to go on that one?
All good here.
Okay. Well, the last segment that we have before we jump into our Quilli question for the week is to talk about the Rocket League Season 23 changes that they've made, right? So picking your demo respawn location, hitbox visualization in training and free play, streamer mode to anonymize names, custom training setting changes, the Rocket Pass, the ball skin, the World Cup limited time mode. Many changes have happened. Quilli, what sticks out to you the most about this season, and what do you think?
You talk about ball skin. That stuck out to me.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Pause.
I just read the word new ball skin on the screen. It just made me laugh.
I thought we were safe. I thought we were adults. I guess not. That's fine.
No, unfortunately not. But no, the demo respawn I was a little bit iffy on the beginning, but obviously it's not gonna hurt. It just takes away that like one of the last randomized things, other than like maybe chip picking your spawn locations for kickoff. Outside of that, it's really kind of it. So they kind of got rid of it. For the most part, I'll forget to, or I'll just start panicking, and I don't remember which is left from my rights, and I'm just sitting there flicking left and right trying to figure out which one's which. So it's mostly panicking, but that's pretty much the only one that affects me. And I feel like I'm getting a good. I feel like it also helps with IQ. Like the more it goes on, the more I'm learning which side I should be spawning on, what angle to be taking. So I do think it is a beneficial change. The rest of the stuff doesn't really affect me. Hitbox visualization, I don't know where that thing's going. Even if they showed me where it was going, if I had an arrow tell me where it was going, it's all a guess. Um, we have streamer mode doesn't affect me, but it's cool for streamers. Obviously, less toxicity, a little bit more anonymity. The Rocket Pass, the World Cup theme. Some of the things are cool. Some I just like kind of see it, pass it, and I'm just pressing A after games as I'm unlocking all these things. A, get it off my screen, get it off my screen. But it's been a rather fun time. I'm still holding champ, so that's also a plus for the Quilli mental. I do play till I lose every night, and so far I have not lost champ. So we are chilling. But
That's big.
the the demo respawn has been quite cool. It's been a very interesting change, and I think it's quite beneficial.
Fair enough. I mean, I know I read I'd ask you, but I know where we stand on that one. But I think using the World Cup ball was a cool addition. I think that wasn't always my favorite game mode. The World Cup limited time game mode was something new and exciting. It was kind of cool. I like a lot of the changes that they've made. A lot of the quality of life updates that they've given. Removing some of the RNG from the game has, in my eyes, only raised the skill ceiling a little bit more. But it's been good changes, nevertheless. To see it's cool to see that they're finally, maybe not finally, but like continuing to listen to the community. We saw, the trailer for the next iteration of Rocket League, but realistically, I'm just happy that they're continuing to bring forward, content changing updates for a lot of people. So I'm excited to see where we go from here. But
yeah, we were at rock bottom like a couple months ago, and you know what they say about rock bottom? There's only one way to go. That's up. I feel like we're on the up right now.
It certainly seems that way. And then last but certainly not least, in the new season, we have Rocket League's 11th birthday coming up. There's challenges that you can complete for birthday cake or party-themed rewards, as well as golden eggs from various different years throughout Rocket League's existence. I think that's kind of a cool idea. You'll get certain items from certain years that the game was out. A good way to celebrate Rocket League's birthday, in my opinion.
I'm sitting on an ungodly amount of drops. So I think, or whatever they are called, the packs, imports, things, whatever they're called. I'm sitting on an ungodly amount of them. I think I counted. I'm like over 200 across the board between all the random drops. So I think this may trigger me to try and I want to rip through all of them and see if I pull anything cool and eventually get to the golden eggs.
Yeah. I've been a fan. I've opened some cool items thus far in my journey. I'm like 2 games off 1500 in twos, so I'm feeling pretty good. Almost have my GC rewards already, so I've got most of the challenges and rewards already from that. But it's been a fun process. So this has been a good season so far. More positive than I've seen it in a long time. I think I just saw on Twitter yesterday the somebody ran into the first bot that they've seen since the update came out, and they got banned, after the game or during the game. So it's like, the easy anti-cheat, as much as everyone was, kind of bagging on it that, Bacchus mod, we killed Bacchus mod for what? It certainly seems like it's working. I don't know that I've run into anybody that has been cheating or DDoSing or botting in any of my lobbies. I've certainly run into a tremendous amount of Smurfs, but that is a different problem. So I'll take the Smurf over the bot any day. So with that will wrap up our last normal segment. I assume that there's nothing else that you guys wanted to add about it, Season 23 or Rocket League or the state or the birthday or anything like that. So, Quilli, do you have a Quilli question for us this week?
I do, and this is actually going to be a very on-brand one. I had a different one, but I'll save it for next week. This is not on brand. RLCS. I don't know. Actually, let me check how long ago they just tweeted this. They tweeted this 3 hours ago. You know how the RLCS tweet out like RLCS players' hot takes?
Yeah.
They just posted one where they posted them full anonymity. Like they censored the
Whoa.
face, they censored the whole player, and they distorted the voice. And majority of them were saying Vatira is a horrible person. Either that, Exotic's overrated, or Drali's overrated, or he doesn't want to win. He doesn't care about winning. So,
Easy to
also,
say
I
about
will
someone
say,
who's already won a world championship.
well, yeah. My favorite quote of it was they said, you can replace anyone with a 2K MMR with Exotic, and you will get the same exact results.
Oh my god.
And let me just say, I've been
Yo.
saying the same thing for years.
That is world championship MVP Exotic to you.
That's crazy.
I saw that one. That was the funniest one out of all of
Bro,
them.
Exotic might be the one world MVP to get he's by far the only world MVP to get this much hate, I think.
Dude,
Like
it was so
since
fun.
season 1.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
I
like
will say
all the rest of the bot Fenix are out of RLCS, but Exotic still trucking along.
yeah, I will say SSG did get reamed a lot. They said a lot of they need to be humbled. They suck at the game. I think one of them just said Daniel is just bad at the game. He's actually is just bad. That was it. Just straight up, Daniel is bad. But going off that, who do you think in the history of RLCS is the most overrated player?
Ooh,
We know
God.
my answer. I'm on. I'm on
Is it
board with all.
Exotic?
It's Exotic. Get
I mean,
that
yeah, it's like we
fraud
need
out of here.
most overrated. Oh God.
So
Trying to
this
think.
is not my answer, but I Red. Let's talk through some stuff here.
Mhm.
So I feel like the one that people normally go to is Turbo Pulsa.
Yeah, I could see it.
He is the only
Does he-
4-time, but they're like it's the same thing as like the people who are like
It's
you know,
it's the
for,
same
like,
argument that
old
anyone could have
NBA,
won
right?
anyone could have won a world championship with that roster type situation.
that, and it's like they were playing against plumbers, like that
Yeah.
kind of like, and then also
it's
like
the MJ LeBron
Turbo
debate all
Pulso is the
over.
Jordan of Rocket League.
Basically,
but then
think about it.
But then also it's like there are multiple worlds in a single year. So like in the new current format, open format of RLCS, could he have stayed at the top as long as he did? Maybe not. Maybe he only wins 2 worlds. Maybe he wins 1 or none. It's going to be interesting to see kind of what happens there. My mind kind of, sorry, Quilly, in advance. My mind kind of goes to First Killer a little bit. Hyped as the savior of NA Rocket League, the prodigy, the magician, the superstar, and hasn't won anything of note LAN wise other than a couple of regionals. I feel like that's kind of up there for me. Overrated is different than
Bad.
yeah,
Than bad.
or
it's a player
just
that
like
is highly rated, but you feel like it doesn't have the evidence to back it up. And
I mean,
feel like-
we would have said as a podcast, a show, I feel like we would have said Radosin, but then Radosin showed up and farmed LCQ last season. We bashed that signing.
He's the most confusing player of all time.
Oh, it's unreal.
Easily.
Unreal.
I think I have to go off of your one of the players you mentioned. I gotta say First Killer. Yeah, I especially myself been following the NA scene since like he became big, like even before then, like we're talking back in the Rogue days, and like he was kind of like prophesized as like this, like the guy. He was gonna be the guy for NA, but I feel like you can't be the guy for NA if you aren't ever gonna win a major.
Yeah.
Like you can't. I want to defend the guy because I want him to win a major. I want him to because it's like he's been at the top for so long. But
he's also a phenomenal player.
He's a phenomenal player. But yes, I would say he's probably one of the most overrated players in Rocket League, easily in North America by far.
All right. Devil's advocate, obviously a first killer fan here.
Of course.
How much of it do you think is to blame on the fact that the arguable 3 of the 4 best players in all of NA are on the same team? He's left to pick up the scraps. Because objectively, NRG is 3 of the best 4 in NA, if not 3 of the best 5.
I think he could be doing
scraps. I don't know if we can call it the scraps though. Because it's FK. That man can build any team he wants. So realistically, every team he gets every season is the team he wants.
And I was
it's not working.
Yeah, I was pretty vocal about it at the beginning of the season. I'm like, the FJ duo is not it, right? Why is it FK LJ and then a third takes on NRG when it could be
rebuild?
Yeah,
it hasn't worked. Give it up.
FK Life Mech. Like there's plenty of think about if you put FK with Wavy, right? Wavy's defense is incredible. Hey, FK, go play hero ball. I'll hold it down in the back. I don't care. And then if you need to get boost, I have my ones mechanics. I can dribble, air dribble, flick, and buy some time for you to do that. I think that's fantastic. I think FK Kofor has been good this season. I just think you need to find a different, not LJ third. But I think that there's always been more options available to him than what he's gotten,
what he's been using.
And it's like, why are we settling? Maybe it's a money thing. Maybe it's an org thing. I'm not.
I'm
not
think it's
sure.
Also just an FK thing. I obviously haven't really ever been able to talk to the guy. I haven't listened to like team comms realistically, but I wonder if maybe there's a little bit of an ego factor there that maybe deters other players from wanting to team up with him. Not sure. You brought up FK Kofor, and that was an interesting one for me because it feels like they nerfed Kofor for like a majority of the season. Like this is a Kofor that came from an SG squad where he was the demo leader by like a wide margin, and then he joins this FK squad and he's on defense. He's doing his job. Maybe 2 demos.
Like they took away the entire reason that Kofor was such an effective player.
What just happened? This man was causing chaos on the pitch and was freeing up so much goal scoring opportunity. And I feel like if you took that and then added it with a guy like FK who can score some of the craziest goals we've seen in North America, it would have been golden. But then it just, I guess, didn't. I don't know if that was a coaching decision or if that was a team decision. It just felt like it took so much value away from what that squad could have been. Now, obviously, they're still qualifying for stuff. They're still doing good. But that was always my one big gripe was, why did we take the demos away from Kofor? Because I guarantee it wasn't Kofor's decision. I don't feel like that was a Kofor decision.
Definitely. It's just such a hard. It's such a hard. It's living in the world of ifs, because
Yeah.
But speaking of the world of ifs, what if he went to Vitality? Like, how different is the landscape of RLCS if first killer?
What does this do for LeBron's legacy?
Zen.
Yeah, it's such, dude. When I heard that news that was potentially going to happen, I mean, that would have, like, who cares about Drawley going to Mina? First killer to Vitality would have fed families for months. I mean,
including first killer's family and his children.
Well, yeah, that too. I mean, the biggest thing though, like, I would have loved to see how FK Zen would have worked together. Because, I mean, those are names you don't really ever put together. But are those two playstyles we are? I think you have the save ability, like the all-around ability of Zen. He is a demon anywhere on the pitch, but especially, I mean, he is one of the more sound defensive players out there that also can back it up offensively. I think would mesh very well with FK, who is a more offensive-minded but can still kind of do his defense. You get a facilitator in that squad, that would have been a disgusting Vitality roster. Obviously, didn't really happen, but I mean, on paper, I feel like that's easily, that team's easily winning stuff. And maybe FK breaks the curse, or maybe we realize just how much of a curse FK is, Mr. Fourth Killer.
Yeah. I mean, it. I don't want like in other sports. You look at and Drali is a pretty good example, right? He got the absolute bag to move to Mina, but you know maybe you say that's a lateral move for him, right? But then like hockey's my big example, right? Connor McDavid, by far the best player in the NHL, took a absolute discount. Sidney Crosby does as well to play for their team to try and build a better roster because they're psychos. Because they're hockey psychos. They need to win, and they need to have everything. Like they need to have the best situation possible. So I don't know what it was for First Killer, if he was worried about the language barrier, worried about the culture shock, worried about having to move, potentially himself and his girlfriend or the rest of his family or whatever it is that he wanted to do. But if you're serious about winning, that gives you the best chance to win. And also, like, this is what's reported. It's possible they didn't even offer it to him. You know what I mean? Like, it's possible it didn't end up going all the way through. But in my eyes, if that offer was there and you don't take it, you're not serious about winning.
I feel like that's how big of an if that is. That this could just be like its own topic every week of just like how
easily.
crazy it would have been.
Oh, I mean, easily.
I think maybe that catapults them into, in my eyes at least, of being number 1 seed in EU or 1B.
With who, mates?
Maybe 1C.
Cool. Yeah, that was another one. They said Juicy's ass. A lot of cursing at these players. It was very absurd.
You could put a 2K. You could put Exotic with Carmine Corp, and I think that they would still perform very well.
Oh, yeah, whoa! Let's settle down now. Let's not go saying anything too egregious here.
Are you telling me that if you replace Juicy for Exotic, that their form would have an immense drop off from what it currently is?
Yes, I think Vatira fist fights Exotic. He got pissed off. He couldn't even handle a Tau as his teammate in freaking Boston. Are you kidding me? You think he's gonna handle Exotic?
Man.
Maybe that's what they need. Exotic's a world champion. Vatira is not.
They need a literal punching bag. That's what it is.
That would be when it starts the fight too. It'd be some comment, and Exotic goes, "Who's got the world champ and who doesn't?" And immediately over the table, just going at it.
I think Vatira is just he gets so angry at the game that I don't think he can mentally handle having Exotic as a team. The fact that Zen's done it this long is beyond me. He's done it for a second season in a row now. And as the result, you can see they're not winning. It's time to yank the plug. I think if Exotic's not, assuming they don't win Worlds or EWC, I think it's a foregone conclusion. Exotic has to be off this team.
I mean, I think what's a foregone conclusion at this point is a Tau. Surely we see Zatao. I mean, now here's your question: who's your third for that roster?
Well, I think
if
Zen's contract ends this year.
We're blowing up Carmine Corp because that's the only way you're gonna make those rosters work is you blow up both those rosters. So who's a third? Who do you bring in to play with Zatao? Who do you think fits the bill there?
Patira?
Yeah, probably.
You think just go to KC? You think KC just throws the bag at Zen?
Dude,
probably.
That roster would be disgusting. To be fair, you have the defense of Vatira and Zen, the offense of Zen and Atao. I mean, that's disgusting.
The chem would be unmatched.
Now, we say the chem would be unmatched. Do Zen and Vatira have chem?
They want a FIFA E.
I guess that's true. They did win FIFA E, so there's
also they want it with Juicy.
The decal man, Dr. John said overrated Zen.
Overrated. Really? I don't know about that one.
I don't know.
The three-time land champ
in one season.
MVP.
Zoof saying Rawas is the most overrated player.
That's actually I don't hate that. I don't hate it.
He didn't even make top 8 in ones.
Did make top 8 in ones. Has had a subpar season so far, although you could say the same thing about that entire roster.
Oh, he says no to join Zentao.
How dare you? No, dude, nah. If that's a ridiculous roster if that happens. But also, I mean, we don't. Surely Rawas is not. If anyone's, it's TRK, the guy that just went to the 1v1 finals to Game 7 again. with Nubo.
I think there's a
That
chance Twisted
TRK.
Minds blows up after all that drama.
Yeah.
What if Monkey Moon's the third? What if he
Are we
doesn't
going-
He
retire?
already
Are we
said-
going
he
back
already-
to Dallas?
He already said he already said he was retiring at the end of the season.
Yeah, what if he just
Well, okay.
doesn't?
So did JNaps, and he didn't retire.
Scribbles
so-
retired at Worlds too.
It was like
Not again.
Wants to run
I was like,
Josh.
literally, JNaps said before their Worlds matchup, they lost the BDS that he was retiring, and then he played another season. So like,
Whoa. He said no to join Zatao, Rawas.
yeah, that's what we're talking. Yeah, we saw that.
That's crazy.
No, I don't see that happening.
I still think it's got to be Vatira.
It makes the most logical sense, but I mean that's a bag. That is a bag you're throwing at the entire roster. Good lord.
I mean, they already have
With
two.
Any org,
They already
that
have two
has
of the
it,
three.
either Falcons or KC.
Fair.
Those are the two orgs that can make it happen financially.
Yeah, maybe Vitality, just the French things, but like,
Here's a question: does Appjack stay in NA or does he go back to EU?
I feel like at this point he's got to stay NA, but he couldn't even get it done in NA the last time he was here, so.
Willie, what do you think? Do you think the Applejack himself? Do you think he sticks it out with Dig, or does he keep roster hopping and go back to Europe?
I think he keeps roster hopping, but by God, I can't get over the keeping 5-Up and like if they kept Evo, like that gives versatility. 5-Up as a personality, love him. He's awesome. He's funny. He's chill. But like he just doesn't have the mechanics, and Abjack also doesn't have the mechanics. So you're just having two mechanically not sound players just whipping it around the pitch.
Did Evo,
I think 5-Up will
did they-
surprise
okay,
you.
Well, I'm curious because I don't think it was that Evo wanted to stay and then wasn't allowed. I think Evo wanted to leave.
I think so too.
So I mean,
Uh,
it's not really like it's not necessarily their fault for keeping 5-Up because they already were losing Evo, so they had to replace someone. And I mean, I guess they're taking the chance on that roster having at least some duos chem with Bora and 5-Up.
Yeah, it just wouldn't be the roster I'd be fielding.
That's fair.
I feel like surely any one of these random ass rosters could have. Tell you what, I'll pick one off the dome. Who can we snipe off the dome? You know what? Pick up T Corell. Give me T Corell in the big 2026.
If anything, you're taking Guff of that
Give
roster.
True, Go's really good. I don't know how much Alpha kept paying him to keep him playing with him, but I feel so bad for Go. He is really doing his damnedest to get Alpha Cap as far as he can. I think Expert's a good good pickup. I don't think. I honestly pick up Gimmick. Screw it. Pick up AJ. Honestly, pick up AJ. Give me AJ over 5-Up. I think that's.
I mean,
about it.
AJ's got some motion, I feel like.
I'd give Creams pause.
Whoa.
I'd pick Creams over 5-Up.
I not to play on words, but I feel like that's just the same cream of the crop there.
Yeah, but like, which cheek of the same ass do you want? Is the real question.
It's all the same coming out. So
Yeah, I don't know. I think they could have. I think they should have really. I think they should have went the GK route, where they pick their one player and they build around him. They pick Tempo, they're building around him. They're picking Bora and 5-Up and building around it, which isn't really building around it, just adding.
Yeah, well, maybe they will keep Bora in the off season and they will move on from Abject and 5-Up. But we'll have to see. Maybe they surprise some people and do well. I don't think that they're going to, but it's possible. Right? That's why they play the games.
Prove me wrong. I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of those 5 minutes, whoever has the most goals wins. So, talk all we want. Whoever scores goes on.
Yeah. But I think that's good a place as any. That was a phenomenal question. That took us down quite the rabbit hole there. But hey, that's what we're here for, right? That's what people like, the rabbit hole, the conversations, the thoughts, the questions. So, nice job, great question. Is there anything else that either of you wanted to add before we wrap up for today?
I think all good here.
Okay. Well, with that, we would like to wrap up for today. Huge shout out to Alyssa B and all of our other Patreon supporters for keeping the lights on. For those watching live on Twitch or listening later, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, share a show, tell a friend. Help us level up, help us continue to grow our platform and to grow our audience. Want to join our community, jump into our Discord or follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, Twitch, LinkedIn. If you want to rep the show, make sure you grab some gear from our merch store at boostoverball.com. Thank you all so much for listening, and as always, remember to choose Boost over Ball. See ya.